Over 2,000 years ago, ancient Chinese scholars observed the changing patterns in our natural world, the climate, the turning of the seasons, and astronomy. These scholars measured and divided the sun's annual movements into 24 equal parts, creating the 24 solar terms, which was used to govern agriculture in ancient China. Even to this day, this invention still guides the lives and traditions of hundreds of millions of Chinese people. Every year, around February 4th, the Chinese people welcome the first solar term, the beginning of spring, wearing silk flags in their hair and tying carrots with red cords to the trees. All the villagers celebrate the very first night of spring together. Shiqian is the first destination on my mission to understand the solar terms. Located in the mountainous and undulating landscape of southwest China's Guizhou province, Shiqian has numerous waterways that wind their way through its rugged mountain landscape. Feng Wanming is admired in his county. He continues to carry the torch of his ancestors as the fourth generation spring announcer. The spring teller was an occupation authorized by the emperor in ancient China. A hat and gown signifying their rank was their uniform, representing their status and level of knowledge.
我做一个第一个老外的春晚。很棒。
Everything is ready, but before setting out, Feng pays his respects to heaven, earth, and his ancestors. He seeks the blessing of his work and looks to empower his chanting to benefit the farmers. The Chinese use joyful colors in farming ceremonies, showing their respect and appreciation of nature. Oxen have helped Chinese farmers for nearly 3,000 years. With this in mind, the Chinese also have a custom in which they show respect to cattle. One of the activities associated with spring chanting is for the spring announcer to stir the paper-made cattle using colored wooden sticks. This is meant to rouse the cattle from their subdued winter state and encourage the farmers to prepare for spring plowing. After the ceremony, the real cattle are also warmed up. The strongest cattle in the county begin to set out on their first foray into the fields under the command of the most experienced farmer, signaling the start of a new year of working on the land. Spring plowing is a top priority for farmers. My task now is to follow Feng from door to door to announce the beginning of spring. Every year at the beginning of spring, Feng Wanming traverses the mountainside and visits all the villages around Shiqian. He will typically greet more than 30 families every day. A more appropriate name for this practice should be spring singing, as the words are actually sung out loud rather than chanted.
春在山崖中，铁对立着，
铁
对立着，身看高崖上，高崖上挂金锅钱，
挂金锅钱。
三相公，
我自己咽的泪，恭喜发财，
恭喜发财。
Sowing at the right time is essential for reaping a good harvest. The essence of a spring teller's lyrics are the 24 solar terms. These include the terms for weeding, the term for sowing, and the terms for harvesting. Feng knows his intricate solar term lyrics by heart.
财发人显，人发千口，国发万代，辈子千生，长发吉祥。哦。
Since most young people from the countryside are moving to bigger cities to seek their fortunes these days, a lot of these old traditions are not being carried on. To help pass this tradition on, the local government here has set up a spring chanting class at Shiqian Primary School. Feng tells me that every year 2 graduates will join the spring telling team to pass on the tradition and knowledge of chanting spring and the 24 solar terms. I believe the reason why this tradition has been carried on for thousands of years is the Shiqian people's age-old dependence on the land and their deep respect for nature. Their understanding of nature and the solar terms continues to help nourish the tranquil countryside and industrious farms of Shiqian.